Hello everyone, it's Helen at Journaling Planet. As you can tell, I'm still getting over this cold, but I'm enunciating as well as possible because frankly, I am very bored of watching television. It's just not stimulating enough for me. I need to be in my craft room. So in the last video, I showed you the mail art journal that I created for my neighbour so she could keep her mother's letters. And at the end of the video, I said that I would show you what I do with my scraps. Now, I've only just started doing this with my scraps, but it's stopping me from hoarding. It's keeping all the scraps in one place so they don't contribute to my scraps pile. And frankly, it's just a nice, relaxing way to wind down after a project. So here's what I do with them. It's extremely straightforward. Anyone can do it. You don't even have to do it in exactly the same way I've done it. It's just an idea of creating a little mini journal for the scraps themselves as like a sample booklet of the materials you've used. So I simply got a piece of what we call A4 paper in the UK, but it's just like copy paper that was red. I cut it in half, and to say that I bound this together is, I would say, exaggerating just a little bit. I punched 2 holes and I wound some of my leftover sort of baker's twine through the holes from the project, and that is it. That's my booklet. So you can use staples, you can do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch if that's what you want to do, but you just need to bind together a very small signature. I mean, this is made from 1 sheet of paper, so don't go overboard, because if you make it big, it might seem like too intimidating a project to even start. It's supposed to be small, it's supposed to be cozy, it's supposed to be essentially quite relaxing, okay? So don't make the project too big. What I've started doing, just on this inside page here, is I've taken one of my stencils and a Posca paint, not that stencil, this stencil, and just started with my Posca paint pen in white, just adding a little bit of background detail. This is not an essential step. I just fancied doing it today. You know, I haven't been feeling so well. I thought it would be a relaxing thing to do, and it was. So I'm just going to speed up the process of me adding a bit of stenciling to each page, and then I'll show you how I'm adding all my scraps and how I'm finishing off this little booklet. Okay, nothing like perfection achieved, but it was never supposed to be perfect. It was supposed to be creative. So I've got all of these different markings on the pages. I've tried to stick with red, white and blue as a kind of colour theme with the things that I'm adding in. But if I deviate from that, that's fine. Now comes the fun part. I've got all these scraps that I want to preserve. I didn't use this paper for ages because I was hoarding it. And all the time there was no need, because I would have some leftovers that I could then put into a little sample booklet and keep forever and remember the project that I created. So I'm going to stick all of these little scraps in and do a little flip through, and I'll show you how I create the front page and the little note to myself about my project here. that's all the scraps stuck down, and then I'm left with these pieces of paper, but I really feel that these are not scraps. These are, pieces of viable paper that I could use in a project. So I'm not going to add these into this booklet. I could cut bits out of them, etc., etc. But I actually feel I got enough of a sample in here. So I'm going to add this back into my craft paper stash and use it for something else at a later date. So now I'm going to create a front cover, and I'll do a flip through. Once I've done that, I need to create a front cover, and I need to create a little inside cover where I explain what the project was that I did. So on the front cover, I'd like to use some of the other materials I used in the project that weren't paper. So I'm running really low on this lovely kind of airmail washi tape, and I want a sample of it somewhere. So I'm going to put a sample of it at the top of the front page. And I'm also going to add in some of these really cute stickers that were sitting in my stash, and I used some of them in the project. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. And then on the inside page, I think I did use a couple of postage stamps in the project, so I'm just going to glue a couple of those down. And then I just want to document what is in this booklet and when I made the project. Okay, we can now do a full flip through of our little sample booklet now. There's the stickers and the washi that I used. A little note to myself reminding me of when the project was made and who it was for. The pieces of paper that I hoarded for so long, all sampled and kept forever. I know the shapes are very abstract. I don't care about that. Here we've got a little bit of stickiness on this side. What's going on here? Excuse me. I don't know what that is. Glue, I suspect. It will dry. So yes, got these lovely pieces here. They're very abstract, I know, as I was saying, but I like that. I like the randomness of it, that they're all different kind of shapes. I've got some triangles, some irregular shapes, some kind of more square shapes, a rectangular shape on the back. And that is that. Now I did have this piece of twine left over, and I'm just going to wrap it around the project and basically create a very loose closure just to hold it in place and essentially use up the last scrap, the piece of twine from the project. And then that is going to go into my winter journal as a little mini journal in my winter journal, because that's when I made the project. And I'll do a full flip through of my winter journal at the end of February, beginning of March when I finish it. And you'll be able to see all the little mini journals that I put into it, because there are a few that are like this. So yes, you can put mini journals into your journals, and you can do it based on projects that you've done. Now, isn't this a good way of not hoarding those scraps? Because if you know that you're going to put any remnants into a little booklet and keep them forever, you don't have to hoard scrap paper anymore, do you? You don't have to hoard craft paper or scrapbook paper or little scraps that you've got. You can find a nice place for them, a project all of their own, where you can flip through and look at all the papers and washi and stickers that you love best, that you've used to make things, rather than just letting it sit in a drawer. Do you like this idea? How would you do it? You can do it any way. So this is just an example. How would you do this project? Please let us know in the comments, because other people read the comments. I always read comments on YouTube videos because I'm looking for ideas, and I'm looking for other people's knowledge. So do share your knowledge if you have it, and let's help other people think about how they can stop hoarding like I did for a long time, and put something pretty together that's kind of reminds us of the lovely time we had making our project and the lovely materials we once held in our stash. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope I'm over this stupid cold next time I talk to you. I sound like Jessica Rabbit gone wrong. And but I will speak to you soon, and in the meantime, happy crafting, and I hope you have an inspiring weekend.